Hello everyone and welcome to the first of many Game of Theories videos. Before I start, I'd just like to say that one of the things I love the most about a Game of Thrones or a Song of Ice and Fire is how rich it is. There are tons of little details in the show and book that make you think, and they can change your perception of events and people. We've already seen this happen with characters like Jaime Lannister and the Hound, but the show hasn't gone into how things might not happen or appear the way they seem to. So these theories are going to cover everything from the plausible to the crackpot, and they're going to include evidence from both the show and book. Some of these theories are mine, some are my friends, and some come from the community at large. I hope that you enjoy them, and I hope that they blow your mind just like they have for me. So, and as for spoilers, there are some minor ones here. This is a theory, so we don't know if it's true or not, but there's no major spoilers, so listen at your own risk. So let's go ahead and dive into the theory with a question. Is Tyrion actually Tywin's son? We're going to watch a couple video clips, and I'm going to point some things out to you that you might not have noticed on your own.
Men's laws give you the right to bear my name and display my colours, since I cannot prove that you are not mine.
Why not my uncle? Why not anyone? Why me?
You're my son.
What the hell do you know about being a bastard?
All dwarves are bastards in their father's eyes.
Alright, so from those clips it should be no secret that Tywin hates Tyrion. In the first clip we can see that Tywin hates Tyrion enough to suspect him of being illegitimate. In the second clip it's a shock to Tyrion to be called Tywin's son, enough so that maybe it's never happened before, we don't really know. And in the third clip it's always struck me as odd that Tyrion uses those words, and I've always thought it was a clue that maybe Tyrion is a bastard himself. But we'll just have to wait and see. So who is Tyrion's father if it's not Tywin? Well, the Mad King Aerys would seem to be the plausible candidate, and I'm going to get into reasons why. But first, a quick history lesson. So, shortly after Tywin dealt with the Rains, whom the song The Rains of Castamere is based on, he was promoted to Hand of the King by Aerys. And at this time, Aerys wasn't fully crazy, he was just looking to bring in new blood to the royal court. And he was impressed by Tywin's ruthlessness, and that was the reason he gave. However, another possible reason was Tywin's fiancée, Joanna Lannister. Joanna and Aerys had grown up together at court, and there might have been more to their relationship than just friendship. It's said that during this time Aerys was handsome and charming, so he may have had another motive for bringing Tywin to court. It didn't take long for things to become tense, as on the night of Tywin and Joanna's wedding, Aerys is said to have boasted that he wished the Lord's right was still in play. And that's the same thing that we saw in the movie Braveheart, where a lord has first access to a new bride before her husband does. In addition to this, it's said that Aerys also took extra liberty during the bedding ceremony, and that's where the men and women carry off the bride and groom and disrobe them. So this created obvious tension between Tywin and Aerys for reasons we can all understand, and it only got worse from there. Tywin was said to have been too successful, outshining Aerys in pretty much everything. So when a small lord outside of King's Landing decided to withhold taxes, Aerys jumped at the chance to do something about this on his own. However, it backfired and he was captured. It forced Tywin to lay siege to the town, and Ser Barristan ended up rescuing him. It was very embarrassing for Aerys, and it's here that he started his descent into madness, and he grew paranoid and fearful, so fearful that he would not allow blades in his presence, which is why you always see him with long hair and nails, because he was afraid to cut his hair and cut his nails. So why do I think Aerys is Tyrion's father and not Tywin, or that Tyrion simply isn't a Lannister? Well, we know that Joanna and Aerys have history, and the only descriptions we get of Joanna come from her relationship with Tywin. So it's tough to say how she really felt. Tywin might have been impotent for all we know, so she could have sought comfort from an old friend. Joanna's best friend was the mother of Oberyn and Elia Martell, and maybe Dornish attitudes on sex rubbed off on her. We also know that Aerys was fine with rape later in life, and he went crazy, so that's a possibility as well. Anyway, Tyrion is constantly able to win over other characters, everyone from Jon Snow to Robb Stark to Varys. However, Tywin is never impressed or swayed by anything Tyrion does, so it's almost as though he has a reason to hate him. You know, maybe it's a little bit like Catelyn and Jon Snow, where she can't love him no matter what he does. In the books, Tyrion is described as having hair so blonde it's almost white, much like other Targaryen characters. He also has two mismatched eyes, one is green and one is black. However, the black could be a dark purple, and purple eyes is a common trait for Targaryens. Those are also the colors of Dany's dragons, black, green, and white or cream. So Tyrion also has dreams of dragons, and both of those are possible clues. Also, in the books, he's constantly described as being more than meets the eye, and even in the show, Varys talks about him casting a large shadow, and in the books we see characters call him a giant. Those could be clues that he might be kingly. If Tyrion is not Tywin's son, it would explain why Tywin refuses to make him heir to Casterly Rock, the Lannister seat, as he would not want it to leave the family. However, if he is Tywin's son, it always struck me as odd that Tywin would rather have it not go to his family than to Tyrion. The brutality of Tywin's sack of King's Landing could also be less about impressing rebels, and more about revenge and wiping out the Targaryens. We see similar brutality when Tywin goes after the Reynes and the Starks, both of those having been houses that are nearly wiped out for slights against his family. But as Tywin tells Tommen, when a man kneels you must help him to his feet, elsewise he will never kneel again. However, that does not apply to people who've hurt his family. So last, if Tyrion actually is a Targaryen bastard, what does that mean for the rest of the series? Well, the Targaryen symbol is a three-headed dragon, and when they first invaded they had 3 dragons and 3 riders. Daenerys currently has 3 dragons, but only herself. Could Tyrion be another head or rider of the dragons? If you've seen my Jon Snow video, then you'll know that I believe he's a Targaryen as well, and another possible head or rider of the dragons. I find this theory to be pretty plausible, but there are plenty of counter-arguments against it. However, the last piece of evidence I'll leave you with is the link between Jon, Tyrion, and Dany. Jon killed his mother in childbirth, Dany killed her mother in childbirth, and Tyrion killed his mother in childbirth.
You just blew my fucking mind.
Alright, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll have more theories. Leave a like or a comment if you enjoyed it. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter for more Game of Thrones and movie news.